Yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Part-Time Artist Podcast. This is episode 205, and it is a fucking awesome episode. Excuse my language, but this is a great episode today. I'm so excited to get into it. I think this is an episode, just like the last episode was such a crash course for people if you want to tour. This one is the same. We're talking about touring. We're talking about community. We're talking about merch. We're talking about following your dreams. There's so much cool stuff wrapped in this episode, and it's somebody that I go way back with. So it's a really awesome show today. But before we jump into this show, I want to let you know about a couple things. Our guest today runs a merch place where you can get your merch made, whether it's cassette tapes, whether it's t-shirts, long sleeves, whatever. If you want something screen printed on it, look no further. And the company is Do It Now Shirts. All right, there's going to be a link in the description for Do It Now shirts. It's going to be also smushed together with Cart Music. Those are the two businesses that I endorse fully right now. They're two Philly local businesses that they're not trying to rip you off. They do a great job. And Matthias, who runs Cart, that's for live studio stuff. If you want to do music recording or video recording, Cart Music is where you can go. And then if you want to put it on a tape, or make some merch, head on over to Do It Now. Two great businesses. Also, some affiliates that I have. Visible, if you're in the market for a new cell phone plan, I use Visible. And it's really cheap. And if you use my code, you'll get your first month is free. And I think it's only $20 a month for, unlimited data. And, you can get a new phone number. You can keep your phone number. It's you can get an electronic SIM card, so you can get a whole new cell phone plan from your toilet. I did it actually in bed. Got a whole new cell phone plan, so check out Visible, that code in there. There's also a code for Sauna Box, okay? I am hitting the sauna. It's something that I think my dad needs to do tonight too, because he's trying to get over a head cold. You can get your own personal sauna. It's a wet sauna. It's awesome, okay? You can get a one-person. I got the two-person sauna box. Really cool thing. If you have the space for it, it doesn't actually even take up that much space, and you just have to air it out. If you're into saunas, if you're into wellness, if you're into recovery and sleeping the deepest sleep you've ever slept, check out Sauna Box. Okay, there might even be some sales on the Sauna Box stuff for the consumer season that we are in right now. So just check it out. I love saunas. I don't have a gym membership anymore, so my sauna is my workout. Oh boy, I need to get back in the gym. But anyway, we got a great show today, so please check it out. But also, before I jump into the show, I keep forgetting, the 2025 radio show is just around the corner. It's gonna happen on New Year's Eve. So if you put out music in 2025, DM me a link to your Bandcamp to your Bandcamp song, or if you're watching on YouTube, leave it in the comments. Leave your band's Bandcamp in the comments. I'll check it out. Yeah, and as always, if you subscribe on YouTube, that's the best way to support the podcast. And we will be live on YouTube New Year's Eve for the 2025 radio show. Okay, let's jump into the show. All right, I have with me a very, very special guest from right here in the great city of Philadelphia. I have Matt, aka Matt W. Charles, aka Matthew William Charles. And Matt is a total community person. You're all about Philly here, even though you're touring all over the place. You always come back to Philly here, and you're either, hosting a show for your friends, or you're helping friends put together a show here, or you're even help point the way for folks that need like DIY touring help. So Matt, the great community tour punk troubadour, thank you for coming on the show, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah.
And, like I said to you earlier, I'm just stoked that you're still doing this podcast, and it's an awesome thing that you're doing.
Dude, Matt, first of all, guys, Matt was, I think, you're one of my first like true music guests on this show, like way back, maybe 2017, maybe even earlier. Like, dude, and I've been playing Matt's tunes on the show probably even earlier than that, because you're one of the few people that actually had Bandcamp for a long time, and also I like had your music basically, and you were in the scene too. So we go way, way, way back. But before we talk about anything, I want to do, because you are like a merch fanatic, and we got new merch. You coming out with new merch. I mean, I have the old tapes, but I know you're always in the process of making tapes. And now we're making books. This is Matt's new book of lyrics, which is awesome. So I want to know, I'm going to do a little like merch bracket, if you will. Okay. We're going to see like what is like kind of the coolest merch item. All right. I want to put them head to head. Are you ready?
Okay,
first off, I'm going to do wearables. So first, we'll go classic. T-shirt or long sleeve?
I'm old school. I like the T-shirt,
Okay.
Long sleeves are cool, but yeah, I'm you can't go wrong with a T-shirt. Yeah.
Okay, now T-shirt or hoodie?
T-shirt or hoodie, it depends. Like a zip hoodie's tight, I'm a fan. I love my zip hoodie,
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna take that as hoodie. Now, lastly, hoodie or tank?
Hoodie. Yeah.
Okay.
Hoodie.
So
tanks are cool. Yeah, tanks are cool. They're hit or miss. Like if you're talking about like people selling them, and yeah, I think hoodies are. Oh, hoodie over the tank top, yeah.
Okay, so the ultimate wearable merch is zip hoodie. Now let's go with merch music. All right, let's go first. CD versus tape.
The tape, definitely. Cassette tape.
I knew where this was going. Okay, now the tape versus the LP, the vinyl.
I mean, you can't be vinyl. I'll have to say vinyl is like preferred, but tape comes in a good second place.
Okay, so now vinyl versus the digital download.
I think vinyl is better for merch, and I mean you can combine vinyl and digital download.
Okay, so the vinyl is the ultimate music merch item. Now, to put the final two together here, zip up hoodie versus the LP vinyl. What's the ultimate merch item?
The LP is the classic. Yeah, like the vinyl, like there's nothing better than like, listening to music on a vinyl record and like looking through the insert, reading the lyrics, like there's, as like the merch buyer, I think that LP is, and then obviously rocking the band logo is cool on the hoodie, but like, yeah, I mean, music, I'm a music guy, music first. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's face it, at some point you're gonna lose that zip up hoodie to an ex-girlfriend anyway, so the vinyl you'll have forever though, man. They're not coming for that. Okay. Now, of course, Matt runs Do It Now shirts operating right here out of Philly. and you're putting out all types of merch there, which is awesome. And it's something that War Park, I've used Matt for for merch as well. So it's definitely a business I support, and you can go into the podcast description is going to have a link to that. But before we talk about like merch and the new stuff you have, I want to talk a little bit about you, because you're somebody, and it's really cool on this podcast. The last episode I had A Day Without Love, and he just came back from a 50-state tour, which is crazy. But you, like, it's back to back with people that have they're road dogs that have been on the road forever. And you're actually in February touring Texas and Mexico, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Now, I want to talk to you about touring a little bit. For somebody that's thinking to just grab their guitar and hit the road, what's some wisdom that you can share, especially now in 2025?
I mean, I could share a lot, but for somebody, I mean, I would just say, just go out and do it. Just don't be scared of all the, like, you can get caught up in all the like little details and stuff, but like if you plan a trip, just follow through with it, because booking a tour can be tough. And, especially the first time you've ever done it, being someone just by yourself with a guitar or with a band or whatever. It's always tough that first time to, find contacts and to book shows and to put the whole thing together. And then, so if you like plan to go out for 7 days and you only book 3, just go out and play those shows, because you never know what happens. Because I had so many bands we couldn't get a connecting show, so we just canceled the tour. And just go out and play the shows, and then like just try to find stuff to do on your day off. Like you go to a show or something, try to meet people. But I've so many times on tour, like I've had something fall through, but I play a show, and I'll tell somebody like, hey, my show the next day it's falling through. They're like, oh, I actually know somebody here who's doing a gig, and I'll end up finding a gig, or something will happen. So it's just like you got to put the time in and just be outgoing. And I know it's tough for me, it's tough for people, but you just got to like put yourself out there and make connections. The more connections you make, the easier it's going to be, if that's what you really want to do,
Amazing. That's such good advice. And it is also something that we heard. It's also something that was echoed on the last podcast episode with A Day Without Love, to just, like when you go out and play shows, you're going to meet people that are going to open the door for playing more shows. And, also when it comes to like day off and things like that, like open mics, man, you can just show up, and a lot of times they're just like, whoa, like a band is coming or a touring artist is pulling through, and they'll like give you the spotlight. They'll put, whatever. And some of the best shows when I was on tour with my band, and we had those off nights, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, whatever, those dates that nobody really wants to gig in. Like we just looked up open mics, and some of those were like the best shows, and people bought merch and all types of stuff too. And then we started developing the principle of like really trying to get to the next city or the next place early, and finding the record shops and just hang out there, because that's places where you can make connections too. So yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Now, you've toured all over, I mean, damn near all over the world a little bit. You're international level, but you've always come back right here to the great city of Philadelphia. What keeps you here? Why stay here?
I don't know. I mean, I've been here, and I've tied in some roots, at this point, and you never know what tomorrow will bring. But I moved to Philly years ago because, I would play up and down the East Coast, and Philly was a place. Um, I like when I lived in Virginia for a while, and I
Wow.
lived in Richmond, and we would go play gigs in like Philly, and then go play gigs in like New York. But I always like Philly because Philly was like people were cool. There's like a community vibe
Yeah.
here, and um, where there's not. I don't know, for like a big city, yeah, there's people are from Philly, like support Philly people,
Yeah.
and it's a cool city. Like if you want to be in a big city, it's not overwhelming like New York City. Like New York City's just super cutthroat, and just there's cool stuff there, but it's like
Yeah.
Philly's cool. Um, and yeah, no, I've like I said, I have the t-shirt shop,
Yeah.
and just building roots. I have a house in Kensington, so it's like I've kind of like, yeah, just tied in. And like I said, you don't know what tomorrow will bring, but like Philly's Philly's a good place to call home.
Awesome. Yeah. But let's say you have to, if you like gun to your head, you have to leave Philly, pick up and leave. With what you've seen, where would be your next spot?
I don't know. Um, it's hard to say. Um, I mean, I do like, so I like the East Coast. I
Yeah.
mean, if I have so many friends here on the East Coast. I grew up in New York. New York, lived in Virginia, moved back up to Philly. Like I'm an East Coast person. I got a lot of friends in New Jersey, and it's kind of like my home base. But
Yeah.
um, I like it around here. But I guess if I was to the coolest place I've ever been like on tour
Yeah.
was Granada. Granada, Spain was amazing.
Oh
And
shit. You
but
crossing the
I was just like,
border. Okay.
yeah, well, that would never happen though. That's just like I
Yeah.
don't think logistically that would ever make sense. But as like part of like culture and like just something completely
Yeah.
different. That place was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I like here. I like West Coast is cool. Like but I like the East Northeast vibes. It's who I am, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I, it, there's lots of cool scenes out there. I like out west, like New Mexico and places like that. It's like different, but
Where out
I
of
don't
what
know.
you've out of what you've seen, where do you feel like is the best scene? Maybe outside of Philadelphia, because we know Philly's number one.
Yeah. Well, things ebb and flow, like so. There's like North Carolina's always been good for me. Like it's for
Mm,
me specifically. Like there's always been a place for me there. Uh,
nice.
I'm trying to think of like places that are. I just played Milwaukee, and Milwaukee was great. Michigan's been good for me recently, and but scenes ebb and flow. Like sometimes you know um,
Yeah.
you'll go to a place, and like you play for like nobody, like but you keep going to the same venue in the same city. Then like all of a sudden they have like a huge scene, and it's like where did this come from?
Right.
And it's the same with like a lot of places. So what I learned is just like I feel like every place has something, like I've seen scenes like just go up and down, like I used to play Wilmington, North Carolina, and
Yes.
there was always a crowd for me there. Then all of a sudden, like everyone moved. I'm like, where did everyone go? Like I used to have like a bunch of friends there, and they all moved to different
Yeah.
places, and
Wow.
yeah, and so but
What do you
I
feel
don't know.
like makes like a scene good from what you've seen? Like what is it just people are just generally supportive, or does it have to do you have to have like a venue and like a walking crowd, or like what do you feel like are the key components that make a scene good?
I think the best scenes are like when you have like the old heads and the elders, and then you have like the young kids and everyone in between. kind of like you have like a community vibe. I think those are the best spots, like because whether you have like a house show venue or like, but it's usually like you have a community of people like working on creating events, and you have the people that have done it for a long time. They can kind of like, I remember growing up, like I grew up around Syracuse, but like we had like, it was a conglomeration of all these like little small towns, and then you had the old heads who had been doing it for a long time, and they'd be helping organize the shows, and you got the young kids with the energy, like coming out and packing out the shows. And I think that's to me like a good scene when you have like a mix of people, and like the more different like ideas and types of people in the scene, I think kind of make it like a robust scene. It doesn't necessarily have to have like the best venues or whatever. I think you just have to have a good community,
Wow. Okay. Right on. Yeah, that's cool. That's good to know. Let's jump into this first song here off of your latest EP, which is called No Excuse for a Cheap Suit. And this one just hits home for me. It's the last tune on the release. It's called Don't Let the World Control You. Check it out.
I just heard that album came out 30 years ago. And I remember buying that record at the record store. Holy shit, how old are you? I really thought you were my age. But now I don't feel so old. Yes, it's true, you were born when I was playing gigs at the Cortland Youth Center. And I remember way back then, the memories really tend to blend. Sometimes it really doesn't seem that long ago. On the other hand, some things seem like they were from a different life. And 5 years ago, it seems like a lot of time. But I don't care, here I am. I really can't explain it. I just don't get so much about the passing of time. But it's weird sometimes playing shows in dirty punk rock basements with some kids half the age as me. But here I am, and I don't care. I'm just addicted to playing. Hopefully I can share something new that's of value to you. Perception is everything. Don't ever forget that. Bend the world to your will. Don't let the world control you. 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 Don't let the world control you.
All right, that tune was called Don't Let the World Control You. It's the last tune off the latest release titled No Excuse for a Cheap Suit. You can go to matthewwilliamcharles.bandcamp.com. All the links are going to be in the podcast description as well. Now, this song has hit home for me so many times because every time I go, and even this morning, I was starting this new class or whatever, and every time people ask me that question, how old are you? And then I have to say, yeah, I'm 33, and everyone's like, really? What are you doing here? Like people, people can't believe it, and then you have to explain things or whatever, but it's just been such a common thing, at least with your music, that when I listen to it, it could just be you and I have similar backgrounds, but it just hits home. Like songs, like The Art of Self-Destruction or Love What You Do or Living in Debt and Help, going way back. The lyrics are always my favorite part. And I also love that you post them on Bandcamp, which is a very underrated thing to do. And these lyrics obviously now are a part of this really cool book that you have out. Your lyrics are so descriptive, and then they're anthemic. Is that why you chose to make this book? Are there a lot of people like me that resonate with this so heavily and they pushed you to make a book, or what was the reason behind going for this?
Well, no, I appreciate that, the comments about the lyrics, but I think lyrics are really important,
Yeah.
and I write that in the book. I think it's, for me, like, obviously the music is important, but like the bands that I really liked growing up, I would resonate with the lyrics, like
Yeah.
I could connect with them. And as far as like writing the book, I wanted to write a book. Like I used to write zines when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I got out of that. And I wanted to get back into it. And like, it was just a goal, like a bucket list thing. And then I was thinking of some of my last releases that I put in cassette tape. I couldn't fit all the lyrics. I'm like, well, I should have like a book with all the lyrics. And then that was like an easier thing for me to do, to like write a book. I'm like, well, I already have all these lyrics, and I can make a
Wow.
book out of it and just kind of like tell stories. I don't know, I love physical media. I love like
Yeah.
having something to give to somebody. I mean, that's underrated. Because we have all this digital stuff, which is cool because you could find bands and things that you never would have found without like the internet. But I
Yeah.
mean, I think nothing like something that you can hold in your hands. But yeah, I mean, and I don't know, yeah, lyrics being like the most important thing. It's something that kind of like goes with my music. So if you've never heard my music before and then you want to buy like a cassette tape or a CD or like some sort of physical medium,
Yeah.
you could also have a book, and then you have like, something to go along with it.
Yeah, it's also like a sort of Jim Morrison type of thing too. What I love about this book too is that you have like, pictures of old like flyers, and this is my favorite. We got Brody in there and some live shots too. So and like you said, there's also some stories, and also some like stories behind some of these tunes. So it's just really awesome to have. And now what I also want to ask you is if someone else is inspired to do something like this, if it's also on their bucket list, what was the process like? And to make this, and what advice could you lend them about following in your footsteps a little bit?
Yeah. So I, just started writing, the book, like on like, I used Google Docs, to start writing it, but then like I transported everything. I use Photoshop and Illustrator, and I use that to make the books, but I looked up the templates. So I created my own templates in Illustrator, and not to get too much into like the Adobe Suite stuff, but there's InDesign too that's made for stuff like that. I'm just not as good with InDesign, but I made the templates, but you can download templates. So you can download templates for books. And
Oh, yeah.
I went to this place called, I went to lulu.com, and my buddy, Tim Mangle, who plays at Church and Trains, he's put out a couple poetry books. And I had asked him I asked him how he put together his books. And he went through lulu.com, which is like a self-publishing site. And I think that they have templates there, but you could start an account there.
Right.
And so, and then you upload your PDFs, and then they make the books. Yeah, it's like, it was pretty easy. Like once I making the book was really difficult, and I designed it myself, and that was took a long time.
Yeah,
Of
dude. What?
Yeah,
It's like, guys, this is like every single page has like a collage behind it, And I mean, a lot of it is album work, but even just the organization of these photos and the flyers, like, Oh my god, dude. This must have been a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare, dude.
It was like I worked on it like almost every day. 2000 this year, I started like January, like the first week of January, and then like every year, every day, almost every day, I worked on it.
Oh
And
my
but
god. Shout out to Creep
like I
Records
said,
and Tim.
yeah,
And
like
Eric.
Lulu.com was where I kind of put it together. And but like I said, it like once I had it, like once the whole process after I had created the what I needed and had the right template, like uploading it and making the book was fairly easy using that
Mm-hmm.
site. You'd also like Fireball if you want to keep it local with Philly, which I almost went with Fireball. I print a lot of stuff with Fireball printing. They're right down the street. So that's another option. I just did this because they you could do one book or you could do like 200 books. You know, you could do whatever, and they also they sell the book on their website. And if you wanted to have distribution, you could get distribution through them as well. So it's like there, and Lulu.com is not the only one. There's other self-publishing sites out there if
Okay.
you want to create your own book. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Now, switching gears here, let's talk a little bit about No Excuse for a Cheap Suit, which came out in February. And now this February, you're taking it on tour like a full year later, and going down to Texas and Mexico and all sorts of crazy shit. What this first of all, this album is so cool because the composition on these songs, like, you know, acoustic guitars that are like panned, and then there's like a lead over here in the left, and then there's vocal overdubs and harmonies, and then some percussion and harmonica. There's all this stuff going on. Like, how did you put together your sound and figuring out like which of these parts? Because I'm assuming you writing these songs just you and an acoustic, and then all of these other layers are coming out on top. How did you find your sound, and what is like the setup? Is there one guitar on the left and another on the right, and then what, like, how did you figure this out?
Well, so when I wrote the songs, obviously I did write them on acoustic guitar first, and then you know I usually demo them when I record a song. I'll do like a pre-production at my house, you know, whether that's just me recording on like a Zoom recorder or my phone, or like down in the basement, my like little home studio. So I kind of like have an idea, like when I go into the studio. I recorded these at those songs for this album at Noisy Little Critter, and that's in Downingtown.
Oh,
And yeah, Mike Bardzik runs that studio, so he's the one who did the panning and things like
okay.
that. So he did. So I don't, not that I didn't know and didn't have any like insight into that, but like as far as like the production, um, you know, he did the production. But when I went into the studio, I had the songs, and I, you know, obviously I start with the guitar, and then I kind of had like ideas for the songs
Okay.
um, when I started, but then like once I put in like I have like the bass and the cajon, and I played all those parts. Then like you hear other stuff too. You're like, oh, it'd be cool like if I did a backup here, or if like
Yeah.
and then, like my buddy Eric Nielsen plays keys on a couple of the songs,
Yeah.
and like after I recorded them, I was like, oh, this would sound cool if we had keys in this, and then you know, so like, and then there's other parts where it's like, oh, it'd be cool if I threw in the lead. So like once you start to put the songs together, like sometimes they change direction, and some of them like change direction, like I can't remember the name now, but I grabbed the tape. Cold You So.
Yeah.
Cold You So is like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I started to put that together. I'm like, oh wow, this song is like kind of wild, and like, but yeah, once, yeah. So that's it's kind of like a work in progress. There's some studio magic stuff, quote unquote, like things I come up with in the studio, but
Sure.
at least the roots I have, like, I had down, and then yeah.
Then you just
That's it.
start getting ideas, and then let's try this. That's the best, dude.
Yeah.
I live for that
Yeah.
shit. What's your what do you feel like is your favorite song on this latest release?
I do like No Excuse for a Cheap Suit a lot, and I'm looking at it again to remember what I had on here, but I just I like how it came together. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
walk
kinda
us through
different
that.
than- yeah,
Walk us
it's
through
just
how it
kind
came
of different.
together.
Well, I don't know. Like I just kind of like the lyrics for the song. I think I just kind of like wrote them down. Like I just usually when I write like a song that I like, it just comes out lyrically like all in one kind of like fitting. It's just like, oh, and then maybe I'll throw in some edits, a little bit later, when after I've written down the main part of the song. And then like I just write music to it, like I'm like try to find like the right chords. And this one kind of was like it's different than what I normally do, at least when all the other instrumentation came together on it, I was like, oh, this sounds different. It sounds kind of like I was like influenced by like early Beck, I don't know if you ever listened to One Foot in the Grave or like Stereopathic Soul Manure by Beck, but
Okay,
those are
yeah.
like that was like my first like folk stuff I ever got into, like folk and blues, but I
Yeah.
learned it through Beck. And I felt like this song kind of sounded like that a little bit. And then like I heard like keys on it, and then I said Eric, I told Eric, I gave him like some like idea that I had, and then he just played some key parts. I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely that. And it kind of reminds me of uh like early 70s, late 60s. It kind of changed the vibe, it was like it had like some retro rock and roll vibes, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I like the message of that song too. Like I was happy with the way the lyrics came together. And then it was just like one of those things when it all like congealed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a cool sounding song. It sounds like something I wrote, but different than other stuff.
Yeah, because it also, like, with those extra elements, and the way that the vocals come in and out or whatever, like, especially that song in particular, like, when you come in, like, the song at first, when I first heard it, it sounded like it had the vibe of like the type of song that that people would sing drunk in a bar, like Arm in Arm. Like there's no excuse for a cheap suit or whatever. Like it has like an old folklore type of thing, but then obviously it's so up tempo, and then there's all these other elements that it has its own unique like alternative sound. But when we go back to like the lyrics and like the root of it all, it's really cool how, it can have different like perceptions almost within this song. So it's really cool. And it's also the title track. So let's jump into that song right now. Actually, this is the title track. It's the third track on this release, and it's called No Excuse for a Cheap Suit. Check it out.
There's no excuse for a cheap suit or some bargain thrift shop wares. I didn't come here to play games. That shit is lame and I don't care about this Betty, he said, she said. Throw folks underneath the bus. I'm in it for the long haul. If I fall, I'll get back up. I ain't pretending to have the answers. I ain't saying how you should live. There's too many of us out there living lies I can't pretend to understand the nuance of each situation. I'm just a lonely troubadour singing songs where I'm coming from. situation. Do with it as you please. I can't control the outcome, but I can deposit my currency. There's no excuse for a cheap suit, no reason I can see to hold back what's inside you. I'll pretend that you're something that you're not. Just to be will be when it's said and done. Only your regrets, that's the debt that you carry on. No reason I can see to hold back what's inside you. I'll pretend that you're something that you're not. Just to be will be when it's said and done. Only your regrets, that's the debt that you carry on. Only your regrets, that's the debt that you carry on.
All right, that tune was called No Excuse for a Cheap Suit. It's the title track from Matthew William Charles. He's got tapes, he's got books, he's going to be hitting the road. So you got stocking stuffers and some things to look forward to. Those of you that are down in Texas and Mexico, or is it Texas and New Mexico? Is it the new or the old?
No, it's Texas. Oh, there's actually New Mexico too. So I'm playing Denton, Texas, definitely playing Amarillo, Texas. I'm playing Albuquerque, New Mexico, like El Paso, hopefully another southern New Mexico date, and then I'm doing San Antonio and Austin, and then I'm flying to Mexico City, and I'm doing 3 gigs in Mexico City.
Wow.
And it's a lot of travel, probably a little it on the expenses, but I mean, it's for the experience. This one for sure, but it could be fun. Yeah,
dude. And you can get some winter relief too in the dog days of February for sure. Dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, sometimes I'll if I follow you on social media, by the way, you guys can follow Matt, Matthew.w.charles on Instagram, and sometimes I'll learn about new towns and cities because you're playing in them. And I'm like, I never heard of that town in Pennsylvania or whatever, I'll see Matt's tour layout and I'll just learn geography basically. It's hilarious. Why?
Yeah.
How do you get into these random places, do you seek it out or does it just fall in your lap?
Both, I'll play a gig wherever,
Yeah.
So I go, my tours go where the gigs, where people book me. So I've been doing it for a long time. And like I said earlier, the more you do it, the more connections you make. So a lot of times I just know people in certain areas that I'm friends with. I play music and I'm like, hey, I want to play a gig, and they'll give me a gig, and then I just put together the pieces, I need a gig in Mobile, and then I'll just start researching or somewhere near it, and just start researching towns and things, and it's kind of like a research project, when you're
really
looking at tour. You're just like, oh, okay, this band played this town, and it looks like this place does shows, and I'll reach out to this place, and then I just kind of as long as it's not too far off the route, I'm like, I don't care, I've never been to this small town, but I'll go play it, and whatever. I think that's cool. I love traveling, and I love going to the towns that nobody has heard of, and they tend to be the ones that are more appreciative of you coming through. Because a lot of times they're like, "Why are you here? Why did you come to this? You're from Philly? What?"
Nice.
It's yeah, well, you're you book me a show and I'm here to play, and why not? You know.
You didn't bail? What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I want to talk to you a little bit about Do It Now, your merch production headquarters. First of all, let's just start out you're somebody that makes merch, so I want to know what's an underrated merch item and what's an overrated merch item.
Underrated merch item. I think probably. I would say the tote bag. Tote bag's underrated.
Wow, the tote bag.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
some bands get the tote bag. And well, you know, obviously, like some of like not non-band people, like bars and like stores, do the tote bag a lot, and some bands do it. But the cool thing about the tote bag is that you always need a bag to put stuff in, especially now in Philly because you can't get plastic bags, and you don't have to worry about how it fits, you know, and so it's like all sizes, and yeah, people buy them, you know. So
That's
yeah,
wild.
it's an underrated merch item for sure. And overrated, I don't know if any. I would hesitate to
Come
call
on,
any
Matt.
merch
I
item
know you're a
overrated.
businessman, but come on, man. You got to be tired
I
of
don't
making
know.
something.
Well, everything that I'm just. I had to think about it. I had to think. It's definitely not a T-shirt. That's not overrated or underrated. And we covered hoodies and tanks and long sleeves. Nobody does sweatpants.
Yeah.
Hats aren't overrated.
I hate to say it, dude, but I think the 7-inch is overrated.
Oh wow.
I think the 7-inch is overrated. I think because I don't know, like there's something about buying vinyl where it's like, if you're buying a vinyl, you know, or if you're putting out a vinyl, you might as well put out the, you know, like take the hit, you know, put out a real, like, you know, a thing. Don't who really wants to spend $10-15 on like 2 songs? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, I feel you. I will be. I might be doing a 7-inch next year. A split with somebody. I'm not gonna say who it is because it hasn't happened, but that is a possible thing that might happen next year. But yeah, no, I feel that like it's. Well, I think that's where like, and not even being like selling products that I make, but like that's where cassette tapes come in, because the thing about like a 7-inch, it's affordable, you know,
Yeah.
where like, you know, you can like get like a smaller run, and but I think there's more vinyl options are opening up because vinyl is more popular, so there's more people doing it. But that's fair. I would say like things that I don't make, like overrated, that I've seen. What are those like little like wristband things that I've seen it as merch items?
Like
They're
beaded
like
bracelets or
not a beaded bracelet, but I don't know. It's not even
sweatband?
overrated though. No, they're
Sweatbands
like
might be
those
underrated.
little. Yeah, sweatband's definitely underrated. But they're like, they say like it's like a little rubbery wristband.
Oh,
Usually,
I know what you're talking about. Like the Live Strong stuff back in the day.
Yeah. I saw some bands that put out some of those, and I was just like, yeah, you could spend your money on something better.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
But that's not even overrated, you know. But yeah, that 7-inch is it was a hot take. I like that. I'm having trouble coming up with an answer.
I think buttons are probably overrated too. Like a button. I think I like a good pin over a button, you know. I think you know what I think is underrated? Hats. I think the trucker hat And now that we're getting into winter, you know, the Scully or the beanies, the embroidered beanies, I think those are going to be underrated merch items, because I just feel like I cannot buy another fucking t-shirt, man. Like, I literally, I mean, I can't imagine it's your business, but like,
I just reorganized my room because I have not enough. I have too many t-shirts. I'm like, I can get rid of some. I'm like, I haven't worn this in years. I need to get rid of it.
yeah.
But yeah, hats are good. Hats are good. I'm wearing a trucker hat. Junk Punk trucker hat. Shout out to Junk Punk.
Shout out to Junk Punks.
Yeah, Junk Punk specifically.
Now,
the Junk Punk.
Now, I love, I sadly, I lost my 2002 Volkswagen van, and that's how I was listening to all my tapes, and now I can't, but are tapes still viable? Like, I don't know, how the fuck are people listening to this shit? Are they buying boomboxes again, or what? Like, I had an old car, that's what I was doing, but I don't know, are tapes still viable, dude?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in tapes. You just have to buy. They have, if you look them up, they have like pretty good players. So there's Walkman type stuff that is being made now that plays tapes pretty well. So tapes are kind of like vinyl in the sense that, like, you know, your vinyl record's going to sound like shit if you have a shitty vinyl player with a shitty needle. And the same with your tape player. Like, if you have a shitty tape player, your tape's going to sound like balls. But like, they have like, now they're making like affordable Walkman stuff. It's hard to find. But I sold like this summer something like 40 tapes or 45 tapes or something crazy. And I had to make like new tapes, and I was, a lot of young kids are buying tapes, and I would ask them, I'm like, hey, like, do you have a tape player? And they're like, yeah, I have a tape player. And some people bought a tape and a CD because they're like, I have a CD player in my car and my tape player is at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. But people that buy the tapes claim to have tape players. I do have a tape player. I have a tape player in my house. So there's a tape player at work. But I'm weird. I like to listen to like I like to listen to, you know, audio like on, you know, like but yeah, I think so. I will tell you, like, I sell way more tapes than I do CDs. It's like old people like CDs and young people like tapes. So, and that's, but
ass backwards,
I wouldn't make them with people that buy them, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like the car that I'm driving now has a CD player. So now I'm going the other way where I'm going to have to buy CDs again. And then buy like a booklet. Remember buying those booklets?
Yeah. I have a giant one in my Jeep. We have them downstairs in our house, and I have like a giant one for my Jeep, and I have like a little there's a console that came with my Jeep that it's made for CDs.
Yeah.
So like the center console has CDs. So if I hear a band I like and I want to buy their music, I have done the thing where I buy the CD player for the car and then the vinyl for my house.
Yeah.
You know, so
wow.
Yeah.
And hopefully it comes with a digital download as well.
Yeah. I never use the digital download. Like, it's a lot of work for me. And I do listen. I don't know, like I said, I'm old school. Like, I do listen to streaming services stuff. And I listen to Bandcamp stuff. But like mostly I listen to CDs, I listen to records when I'm listening to music most of the time. Yeah.
Amazing. So that being said, Matt, we got some stocking stuffers. We got books. We got new tapes. Shark EP was another tape that you put out a year ago, and also the latest is No Excuse for a Cheap Suit. They're quick tapes, so you can just get both of them. And yeah, the tour is going on February, so keep your lookout for that. And before we go, I want to remind everybody that the 2025 radio show will be live on YouTube at the end of the month on New Year's Eve. So please, please, please tune in live and hang out while you're getting ready for your party or whatever you're doing. We'll hang out and we'll listen to music that was put out this year. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really special. On that note, thanks to Matt for stopping by and sharing with us. And this last tune, ironically enough, this tune is called Hate the Radio. Rip on, everybody, stay creative.
I hate these songs on the radio, don't you know? I hate these songs on the radio, don't you know? 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 Like and listen to another rendition of this old song done wrong. Why you gotta keep on trying to make the same shit? Can't say these lyrics, nothing sincere, just while it goes my ears. I hate these songs on the radio, don't you know? I hate these songs on the radio, don't you know? 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 Maybe I got bad taste, that's what my head aches. Wanna hear short songs on guitar, sing along. Wanna hear rhymes that make you think and make you cry. Don't wanna slip my brain